Hi everybody, I decided to do me a little YouTube again. It's going to be a little series. This is just the pilot. I am testing out two video games today. They are the same game, but by different, what do you call them? Systems. For different systems. Look at the setup here. I tried to make it fancy for y'all. With slick and sensational share at ringside. So we have got the WWF Royal Rumble for both Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Let's go. So I know I don't have the controllers plugged in. When I have them on display, I keep them unplugged because they just get tangled. You know how it is with messy older games. I will plug them in. Don't come at me just yet. Just bear with me, okay? And you can see the Toxic Crusaders in it too. So first, let's put in the Royal Rumble, and I forgot to blow on them. Of course, I am not from this era. I'm not used to blowing on cartridges to clean them, because what the heck. So I just put them in, and it took a second for them to come on, but I did not film that part. Let's plug in the old Zenith Century 2, and here we are with the Sega Genesis version of the Royal Rumble. There are some differences to these games, one of them being the roster. I don't know why there are some different characters on each of them, but I'll get into that later. So here you can see the options screen. I'm going to go for a 1 difficulty because it can be hard. So on the Sega, we have Randy Savage, Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Crush, Jim Duggan, the narcissist Lex Luger, Shawn Michaels, the model Rick Martel, Papa Shango, Razor Ramon, and IRS. I'm going to go for the model Rick Martel in this fight, and the computer chose the Undertaker. There are not a whole bunch of moves to this game. There's kick, punch, grapple. I think there's you can Irish whip and give them a clothesline. You can do the backbreaker. These games back from this era, are simple. I can't remember which year this is from, 93 or so. So before I was born, I like these. I don't need 150 characters to choose from, and I don't need 20,000 moves. This is fine with me. And the graphics don't have to be stellar. I don't know why this one is so crusty looking. I have no idea if it's the TV or not, but it is really fuzzy right now. Of course, the TV is older than I am too. But there's some nostalgia playing to this because it's just, to me, it's fun. I did kind of chop parts of the videos because the matches tend to drag on. I didn't want y'all to have to watch a 40-minute video. So as you can see, when you're down, you can stomp on them. You can go to the top rope and do an elbow drop. With these, with the wrestlers, by the way, they all have the same moves. Except, you can also throw them to the outside. Except every character on this game, they have a special move. Like right here, Rick Martel does the Boston Crab. The crowd starts cheering a little bit louder because it's the special move. So like I said, everybody has the same kick, punch, grapple, clothesline, drop kick. But each of them have their signature move. And why Howard Finkel gets into the ring to raise your hand, I don't know, but... And I won, yay! Because I have it on 1 difficulty, and even that took me a while to do. Just a side note, I got into these because this summer, the lady who owns the building where I used to work, her grandson gave me a box of video games. He gave me a Sega Genesis, I think a Nintendo, and a Game Gear. So yeah. Here we're doing the Royal Rumble, which is the namesake of the game. It gets kind of messy because you see how many people are in the ring and they're all crowding. It's a small screen, so you've got all these guys crowded in one space, and there's too many arms and legs a moving. Also, in this mode, since there's no referee, you can scratch their eyes like I just did to Shawn Michaels, and you can choke them. So that's pretty cool. There I am throwing Hulk Hogan out. That's always an accomplishment because, you know, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage usually won the Royal Rumble, so it's a fun game. It took me a while to actually master winning it, which I'm shocked I actually won. Like, this is what I did all summer, you guys. Since I don't have a job anymore, I just played video games all summer, and this Sega version of the Royal Rumble I got, oh my gosh, probably in May. So I played this pretty hardcore, and I guess you could say practiced at it. A grown dude practicing a video game from 40 years ago, yeah. But it's fun. It's a cool little thing, and there's not, typically if you're a wrestling fan, you know the Royal Rumble is 30 men, and this is, I think 10 go in. I don't know. I can't even remember how many people are on the game, to be honest. But yeah, there's Papa Shango's main move, which is the shoulder breaker. And there, oh, no, I didn't throw him out yet. Come on, Papa. You can see in the background Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan doing the commentary. There's no noise to it. It's just them doing the same motion over and over. And there's the rundown of who got thrown out. Here's some clips of the special moves. This is Razor Ramon, and his special move is the Razor's Edge. Pretty darn neat, right? It gives a different pace to the game. And here's the Undertaker about to do his Tombstone pile driver. Just add some spice to the boring moveset. And here we are moving on to the Super Nintendo version. And as you can see, for some reason, the screen gets clearer. It's more noticeable in person. I don't know why. Same rundown, tag team, triple tag team, Royal Rumble, 1-on-1. I think all the moves are the same except the Super Nintendo has more buttons. Here's the roster: Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect, The Undertaker, Bret Hart, Tatanka, Crush, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Yokozuna, the Narcissist Lex Luger, Ted DiBiase. Yep, that's it. I picked Tatanka. The computer picked Shawn Michaels for me. Like I said, some different people on the roster. Some people missing and some different people. I don't know why they did this. Please, someone, if you know, tell me why. Was it so kids would go out and buy a different system just to have a couple different characters? I have no idea. But that got me because I was like, I need to go out because I want to play as Tatanka or Ric Flair or Mr. Perfect. And I just got this one, the Super Nintendo version, like 3 days ago. So I'm kind of new. Like I said, there's different buttons, same moves, but different buttons. Super Nintendo has like six buttons and the direction pad, and the Sega has 3 buttons and a direction pad. So it's kind of different, and sometimes I get mixed up while I'm playing. I forget which buttons do which. And as the same, they have the suplex and body slam, kick punch, but they all have their special moves. Here's Tatanka's, the power slam. Pin him, 1, 2, 3. Shawn Michaels is down. And Tatanka wins. I always liked Tatanka as a kid, but don't ask me why. I think it's pretty obvious why I like Tatanka. And I'm gonna go for the Royal Rumble again at the 1 difficulty with Mr. Perfect. Mind you, I literally I played this game maybe 4 times before this, and because the buttons are different, I could not win the Royal Rumble, and I'm really surprised. I was gearing up not to win it on this video for you guys, and I won. Spoiler alert, I actually won. I don't know. I don't know what I did different. Maybe just played it safer. I don't know. Because as you can see, I'm trying to stay out of people's way and just let them all battle each other. which is hard to do because, like I said, it's just they pile up. There's only a certain amount in the ring at one time, and then when one leaves, another one comes in, but it seems like they pile up quick. And it's look, they're all in one space. Like, why are y'all all up in my business right now while I'm trying to, who am I tackling with now? Tatanka. And now, see, sometimes when they're piled up like that, I don't know who I'm grabbing. I don't know who I'm hitting. It gets so messy. And the only distinguishing part of it is luckily they're all wearing different outfits. Lex Luger might have a basic looking outfit, but at least it's distinct from the other ones. And here I'm choking out the Undertaker. Yokozuna doing the drop kick, yes, because Yokozuna was so known to do the drop kick. That's what I think is funny with these games. Like I said, since they all have the same moveset, you see Ric Flair doing a drop kick, which I don't believe I've ever seen Ric Flair do a drop kick. And Yokozuna, he ain't doing no drop kick. And you can also, a little tiny guy like Shawn Michaels can lift Tatanka in this game. But, it was cool for the time, I'm assuming. If you're a kid who used to play this when it first came out, let me know. Was it fun? Was it? It's got to be better than that 2K stuff that they have now. And here, I was shocked. I was like, I am so not going to win, but I threw out Ric Flair. And I was like, I still don't know if I can win, but I'm going to try. And there I go, tackling Ted DiBiase. I think I did the special move, which is the Perfect Plex. Mr. Perfect was always one of my favorites. So, yep, there goes the Perfect Plex. He does not pin them, but still, I think it's cool. And I eventually, come on, Ted, threw him out. Bye. And I won. I was actually really shocked. I wish I had volume because I was like, are you serious? And as you can see with this one, I do believe that, there are way more characters who joined the Royal Rumble than the Super Nintendo version. I'm just going to show you some of the special moves on the Super Nintendo. This one was hard to do because I could not get the positioning right. You had to be in a specific position to do Yokozuna's finisher move, which is the bonsai drop. I think I recorded this for 5 minutes just trying to do the move so y'all would see it because it's very entertaining. There we go. Oh, and I went down and threw him out. I had the toughest time. See there, I climbed up, couldn't do it. There we go. And it's that's not exactly how he used to do it, but whatever. For the sake of 1993 video games, then yeah. There we go with Ric Flair dropkick and the figure 4 leg lock. Isn't that neat? I like those special moves, so there's a little bit of the special moves for you. Okay, so before I get into my final thoughts on both of these games and tell you which one I think is the best, I took some clips of the theme songs because I thought the theme songs on both versions were pretty banger. But I took some of my favorites and we're going to listen to them side by side. And then I have a couple characters at the end who I thought were cool. Let's jump into it, Boogies. This is the Undertaker's theme on Super Nintendo. And now the Undertaker's theme on Sega. This is Bret Hart's theme on Super Nintendo. And Bret Hart's theme on Sega. Shawn Michaels theme on Super Nintendo. Shawn Michaels theme on Sega. Macho Man's theme on Super Nintendo. And on Sega. Yokozuna's theme on Super Nintendo. And Papa Shango's theme on Sega. Okay, so here it comes, you guys. Which one am I going to pick? The Sega Genesis version or the Super Nintendo version of the Royal Rumble? I did some research last night, instead of just throwing the question out there, of why they have different rosters on them. Apparently, Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis were in a war back in the 90s to see which one would outsell the other. And these games, though they are the same game, were published by different companies. What published means, I don't know. I'm a toy person. I just thought this would be a cool video to do. So I probably should have started out with toys instead of video games. But, so they were published by two different companies, and the companies were like, hey, to get kids to buy the Super Nintendo version, we're going to put Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect and Yokozuna on it as exclusives. And Sega was like, okay, fine, then we're going to put Hulk Hogan and Papa Shango and Rick Martel as exclusives on ours. So I guess it was like a selling point. Now, I know if I were growing up in the 90s, my mom and dad are not going to buy me a console based on like 2 or 3 different wrestlers on them. I'm just going to get what I get. So I probably would have ended up with the Sega Genesis. That's what I actually had as a kid. My mom found one at a flea market, so I played that, and like Nintendo 64, GameCube, that kind of stuff. So I have a little bit more loyalty toward the Sega Genesis, but when I turned, I'd say about 13, which was 6 years ago, I did acquire a Super Nintendo, and I actually had this game. So I'm familiar with both. I really want to go with the Sega Genesis version based on loyalty. But some of the selling points on the Super Nintendo version are that the Super Nintendo has more buttons, so I don't get mixed up as easy while I'm playing it. I also like the inclusion of Mr. Perfect, and why on earth would I not want Tatanka on a video game? Why I like Tatanka, I don't know. Maybe you guys could explain it to me. Yokozuna, I could take or leave. He wasn't one of my favorites. But with the Sega Genesis version, there's Papa Shango. And Papa Shango is the shit. I don't know. Papa Shango is just super cool to me. So that's who I'm usually playing when I'm playing the Sega Genesis version. And he kind of outweighs Mr. Perfect and Yokozuna. But I'm one of those people that when I say I'm going to pick one, I'm not going to do, oh, I can't decide, because no, you said you were going to pick one, so pick one. And unfortunately, I'm so sorry, Sega, but I'm going to have to go with the Super Nintendo version. It's the easiest for me to play based on the buttons. I noticed myself, I go for this one more, but I also have to unplug and plug in my consoles, and Sega's usually plugged in anyway, so I end up playing this version. Overall, no matter what version I'm playing, I still have fun. I like playing on my old TV, even though the graphics are terrible. Everything is fuzzy, and sometimes it gets crackly. But it just reminds me of, like, what I think it would be like in the 90s as a kid. I am not that old, so I don't know. But it's the nostalgia, just like people who do vinyl records. It's the nostalgia. You didn't grow up with it, but it's that nostalgic feeling of playing something vintage in technology. There's nothing wrong with modern video games. I don't mind them. I don't play them as much, but there's just something fun about popping in these cartridges. Even sometimes if they don't work, just swab them with a little bit of alcohol on a cotton swab, and it should be good to go unless there's a major problem. Also, they don't cost as much. Video games now are, I think the last time I bought a video game, which was 10 years ago, it was like $60. This cost me 14, and this one I do believe was free because I worked at a video game store. I'm gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, this is kind of like a light launch of a series I want to do. If you enjoyed this video and the background noise, feel free to share it. Because like I said, I would like to do more videos. I don't know how quick I'm going to put them out because it's still something I'm trying to figure out. Hope you guys enjoyed listening or watching as much as I did playing it and editing the video. Y'all have a great day or night. Bye.